Hey guys, welcome back to Coinology. Today we're going to be pulling apart a P106-100, which is identical to any 1060 6GB card. Most of this information pertains to most AMD and NVIDIA cards. I'm just going to be giving you the full rundown on how to go ahead and repad and repaste these cards. It's super simple. You're not going to need a lot. You need a screwdriver and a couple other tools. Let's jump into it. So we have our P106-100 that we're going to be rebuilding. I've got a couple more that are up here. I've got 5 total. What you're actually going to need to rebuild any, or most graphics cards at least, are going to be thermal paste. I definitely recommend the MX4 thermal paste out of all of them I've used. That one is 100% the best. The consistency of it and just the thermal properties of it, I feel like are hands down the best. Usually, the MX4 will come with some sort of tool, but if not, you're gonna need a tool. And when you actually paste a GPU, my method is to cover the entire chipset, which I'll be showing you in just a little bit. You're also going to need some Q-tips, just some cheapo Q-tips. You're going to need some sort of rubbing alcohol. That's what we're actually going to be cleaning the chip with. This stuff is super cheap. You can get this stuff at the dollar store. I also have a paintbrush that's newer, never been used on paint, obviously. And this is going to be to actually blow out the cooler on each card. We want to get all the dust out of the card while we have it open. And then we have a couple of thermal pads just in case something needs to be replaced. When you're doing your thermal grease, sometimes the pads are just worn out, they're leaking oil, so you want to replace them. You also want a couple paper towels. So the next thing that we're going to do is pull the card apart. The way that we're going to go ahead and do that is take out all these screws. I've always done it in a sort of like a star pattern, starting with the center plate. So I'd start one screw, go over to that one, down, across, and then do these. That's how I would do it. I just don't think that you want to distribute too much load to one side. So like I wouldn't do both of these screws at the same time for fear that I would warp the board slightly. So I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew these real quick. So without much fight, just like a regular Phillips head screwdriver, you can pull this thing apart, just those 6 screws. I don't know if I can do this with one hand. Okay guys, so I've got the cards apart. I disconnected that fan cable. And essentially what I'm going to do now is clean everything with just a rubbing alcohol, some paper towels, some Q-tips. The only thing that I'd like to note is when you clean this thing, there's so many little capacitors and solders that you could just pull off. Be extremely gentle. Don't be rough with this at all. That's what the Q-tip, that's what the paper towels and the rubbing alcohol are for. Don't douse this thing. Just be gentle. So I've gone ahead and cleaned this whole thing down. The chipset is super clean. You can see my reflection in it. I'm gonna go ahead and paste this completely over and then show you what mine looks like. So it's completely pasted. I smoothed it out. As you can see, you can't see any of the shiny surface anymore. Now it's ready to be put back together. In any case, if I wanted to go ahead and replace these thermal pads, I do recommend the blue colored thermal pads. They seem to have the best cooling properties out of all the ones that I've used. But what you can essentially do is measure these up to your old pads, cut them to size, and then just pop them down. And Actually, before that, I'd clean the surface as well. Once you take them off, pop them on, and then you can put the card back together. Okay guys, so I've gone ahead and put this thing back together the way I took it apart. All of these screws are basically hand tight. You don't want to strip them. Yeah, that's about it. We'll plug it in, make sure that it's working correctly, and should everything go well, it should run properly unless the thermal pads need to be replaced, in which I'd have to go back in and replace these. That's it, guys. I've gone ahead and repadded and repasted all these cards. They're all 1060s or P106 100s. Like I said, this pertains to most and all NVIDIA cards. If you have any questions, you can message me anytime, and I'd love to do my best to assist you. If you can like, comment, and subscribe, I'd super appreciate it. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you next time.